Hi friends, it's Belinda here from BMakingJoy. Welcome to episode 34 of What Brings Me Joy, a mostly knitting podcast from my home here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, where I share with you the inspiration, the things that I'm working on, knitting and other craft-wise, and a little bit about my life. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, I'm so glad to have you back. In this episode, episode 34, I'm recording it, by the way, on Tuesday, June the 4th, and it should be edited and ready for your viewing by tomorrow, Wednesday. In this episode, I have one FO, one finished object. Again, an item that I started after the last episode and finished. And I have one HO, a half object, which is an object that is complete but still needs its mate. So if you've been following me on Instagram, you know I've been socks. Socks has been my theme for the last 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks since the last episode again. Yeah, the days just fly by. You know, to those of you who record and edit and upload an episode like every week or even twice a week, hats off to you. That's quite a feat. Anyway, so one FO, one half object, plus I have added another color to my Snowflake Throw, so I'll show you that WIP. And then I'm going to share with you my plans for June, and there are some new additions coming to BMakingJoy that I will talk about, and I have some acquisitions to show you. So, let's start with the finished objects. Just after the last episode, I started these for my daughter, socks, knee-high socks, and I worked steadily on them. It took me a week and a half of monogamous focus knitting frantically on them because she wanted them for laser tag. So they are a black light reactive yarn. This is anyway from Ginger Snap That, whose shop I will link in the show notes below, because I like to do that with any small business that I mention. I'll link to their shop. So the black light reactive yarn, I did the feet in Malabrigo black and the cuffs too. I figured since the feet are in the shoes and not being seen, let's let us use as much of that special yarn as we could by doing that way. You know, the feet in a neutral color in the yarn. And yeah, I'm rambling. So I finished weaving in the ends just 2 hours before the laser game that she wanted to wear them to. So yay, success. I've written the pattern also. I've written it in 3 sizes. It will be submitted as an assignment for my knitwear designer certification program first, and then sometime in the future I'll release the pattern to my Ravelry store. So yeah, as I said, it was black light reactive yarn, so I'll insert a picture of it glowing in the viewing room at Laser City. We went as a family. We had a lot of fun. I, in the past, have never liked laser tag. I've sensory issues and heavy vest and heavy gun. Now it's a very light little like handheld gun and a smaller, lighter vest. So I did enjoy it more. I ran into a lot of walls though. I have a bruise. Oh, it's starting to fade now. I did have a bruise. Where's this arm? Anyway, running into walls, running into people. I mean, not running. We're not allowed to run at laser tag, but anyway, you turn the corner and smack. Anyway, we had fun. Yeah, it goes all the way up over the knee. And I added a rows of eyelets in the cuff so that she could feed a ribbon through it to help hold them up. But she chose not to because she said they fit very well. And so she wore them all that day. And then she put them in my laundry basket. I need to have a talk with her about woolen items don't need to be washed that frequently because I don't smell a thing. Unless my sniffer's broken. Anyway, I have a cute little basket over here in my corner that she's supposed to put any knitted items in when they're ready to be washed. So, but yeah, I don't think they need to be washed yet. I'll give them back to her. Anyway, I'm very pleased with those. And that was finished Saturday a week ago. Both our daughters came home. We had a great day. Laser tag and then supper from the Avenida Food Market. I've talked about it before. I love it there. It's like a farmer's market, but most of the booths make hot food. It's kind of like a street fair indoors. So when we have so many variety of dietary needs within our group, it's a good place to go, and everybody goes off to their own preference and orders their food, and then we come back and meet in the middle to eat. Actually, this time we drove back home to eat because it's only 2 minutes away. Anyway, and then we had an evening of board games. And then on Sunday, I started another project. So, yeah, that's what my half object is. One sock. I started it on Sunday and I just couldn't put it down. So I finished one sock and started the second sock. This is yarn that my cousin gave me. It's from Lolo Did It. My cousin gave it to me at the celebration of life for my sister. Monday of last week was the 1-year anniversary of my sister's death. As many of you know, we lost her last year due to cancer. And so I was given this yarn to make something in memory of her. And I've tossed over ideas. I still have a plan to do a cardigan sweater in honor of Tracy. But this yarn was not going to work for that. So it wants to be a sock. So I'm going to have a lot left over. I've already got one sock out of it, and the second one's halfway down the leg. Anyway, this pattern, I purchased it in April, and the proceeds went to cancer research. I think it was the Canadian Cancer Foundation. The designer is Canadian. It's Nancy Wheeler from New Brunswick, also known online as Knit Sip Happy. This was her 2023 pattern. She designs one every year and runs her giving program in April for cancer research. So I think you'll agree that that's the right choice for this yarn. And starting it on the anniversary of Tracy's death, it was very cathartic for me. So I spent most of the week working on that. The pattern is called Tits Up. I don't know if you... Rows and rows of boobies is my interpretation. So Tits Up is a reference to the series The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and which I really enjoyed that series. And it's a phrase that I try to tell myself to remember to lift the chest, improves the posture, opens up the lungs so you can speak better, makes you look more confident, which makes you more confident. Anyway, so Mrs. Maisel, is a comedian in the show, and always as she's about to go on stage, her manager tells her, tits up. Like, you got this, right? Anyway, so really enjoyed it. The pattern has contrast color, also had stripes in the cuff, but when I started it, I thought I'm just going to make it all one color. But then when I got to the heel flap, I realized it would be easier to put a contrast color in there. So then I did that, and I did it on the toe. Yeah, is there anything else to tell you about it? The colorway is called Smells Like Fall by Lolo Did It. on her Lolo's Favorite base. So this is from a few years back. Not available anymore. It's very pretty. Tinges of purple and pink. My sister and I both love purple. Not quite so much purple in there. When it was in the skein, I thought it was more purple. Yeah, there you can see kind of more pink than purple. Anyway, either way, it's pretty and works very well for this pattern. Okay. Last week, my husband was out of town, and I had to attend some business meetings on Zoom on his behalf. So I had to work on this project. My husband went to the Grand Canyon, literally in the Grand Canyon. He and his triathlon training group went and hiked from one rim to the other through the canyon in one day, 12 hours, and back again the next day, 12 hours. Anyway, and as always, whenever he goes away, everything seems to fall on the week that he's away. So I was delegated to attend these meetings on Zoom. They were not interactive meetings. I was not on camera, so that's the kind of meeting that I couldn't knit at. So I needed a simple project that I could pay attention to, so that I can still pay attention to the meetings, so I didn't have to pay attention to the project. So the Snowflake Throw got another color added. So if you're new here, this is a pattern that I am designing. And so this color I added just this past week. As a reminder, here's the rest of the yarns. So it's a fade set. The set was called Enchanted Winter Fade by Ginger Snap That. And because it's a 12 skein set, I'm working on making sure I add at least one color each month, so I'm 6 colors in. I'm designing it. My inspiration is a snowy winter day. So we've got the snowflake, we've got kids making snow angels, and then building snowmen. And then the snow starts to fall again as we've got a sunset. And then it's gonna get dark. Enjoying that. The yarn is fingering weight yarn. It's on Ginger Snap's Lush Fingering Weight base, 50 gram skeins each, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Yeah. So that's that. The Equilibrium shawl that I've shown you in the past, before I started the Tits Up Socks, I worked a bit more on that shawl and then decided to frog it. So I didn't take any pictures of it before I frogged it, but here's me frogging it. Yeah. So what happened was I realized that it wasn't working out right because of my yarn choice. I was doing it in cotton, lace weight cotton. Cotton yarn is so unforgiving. It doesn't have a lot of drape. So the lace stitches were not looking as nice as it should. So I frogged it. And I'm now convinced that Shetland lace needs to be done with a gossamer wool for the best look. Otherwise, it wasn't going to be worth the effort. So sometime in the future, I'll try it again with the gossamer wool, but not this year. The t-shirt quilt was coming along, but then I packed it away. The t-shirt quilt I'm making for my husband out of his running shirts. I packed it away last week to do a thorough cleaning of the basement. We had company coming. Our middle daughter was back again this weekend for a dodgeball and brought some of her team with her to stay. So I gave up my yarn room here and we set up the hide bed in the basement. So I packed the t-shirt quilt away. I'm sure it will come back out again as it gets hot, because when it's hot outside, the basement's nice and cool. So it'll be a good place to hang out when it gets too hot. Anyway, that's, yeah. I have more works in progress, but I'm not going to show you. I'll tell you about them though. And we do our WIP count update. I like to do that to keep track of how many WIPs I have on the project, let you know so you can hold me accountable, make sure I finish what I start eventually. The last episode, I reported 10 unfinished projects. Since then, I started and finished Delana's knee highs. I frogged the equilibrium shawl, and I started the Tits Up Socks for myself. So my WIP count is still at 10 knitting projects, plus the t-shirt quilt. So that's 11, I guess. So I'm going to quickly run through the list and tell you of what I have and tell you what my plan for June is. So I have 3 unfinished pairs of socks, the Tits Up Socks, the Herding Cat socks, and the Twisty socks for Ilana. I have 3 shawls. My oldest UFO is a papillion shawl. I'm reworking my lightning bug shawl design, and I classify my Snowflake Throw as a shawl because the last circular throw I made, I wear it as a shawl folded in half and wrapped around. So that's 3 shawls. I have 2 other designs to work on. The placemats that I want to finish to go with my tablecloth pattern. That's a pretty old UFO as well. And the Pokemon trainer cloak that I'm designing for Ilana. That's 8. The dodgeball sit-upon bag for Kathy is all knit, but it still needs to be assembled, and that tutorial still needs to be edited. And the 2024 temperature scarf is going to fall behind because there's nothing good to watch on TV anymore. Just like most summers, there's nothing on TV. All the series that I watch all had their grand finales and some season finales just in the last couple of weeks. So, sad that they're gone. I like firefighter shows like Station 19. It's kaput. It's no more. 911. I like doctor shows like Grey's Anatomy and The Good Doctor. The Good Doctor's finished its final episode. And I like mystery shows like FBI. And pretty much whatever types of those shows are available on Global TV, CTV, or CBC. I have all 3 apps. I haven't touched Netflix in a while. And then I watch a lot of knitting podcasts. Anyway, that's not the point of where we were going. Our lives are very unscheduled, but I've come up with some mnemonics of the days of the week to help bring some focus to my work. So Monday is going to be Make For Me Day. So we'll finish these socks for me. And then I want to start my Milton cardigan, which I had already swatched for back in February, March. And then other things came along that took over. Like the knit along for the Jasper trip. And then the shawl that I donated to the dodgeball team for fundraising. And then the socks for Ilana. So anyway, I decided that by making Monday Make For Me Day, I will make sure that I actually do stuff for myself so that the joy doesn't get sapped out of this process. Anyway, and then Tuesday will be Technology Tuesday, which for today means recording, editing, uploading. I also need to get my Ravelry pages updated. I don't think I haven't even started a project page for these. Get my Ravelry page updated. Check my website, see if I need to make any changes there. So Technology Tuesday. And also Theology Tuesday, because Tuesday night is our ministry school at the Kingdom Hall. So I have a Bible reading to do before that. Wednesday will be Write and Work. W's. So I need to write my patterns and any other BMakingJoy work stuff that needs to get done. And then Thursday will be for TKGA courses. TKGA stands for the Knitting Guild of America. That's the organization through which I'm taking the professional knitwear designer certification course. So I need to set aside some time to focus on that. Also with TKGA, back in April, there was a online conference, a whole weekend of courses, one after the other. And those recordings are available for us to watch, us who signed up for it, to watch until October. So I also need to set aside some time to go finish watching the rest of those recordings that I didn't get to do at the time. Okay. Thursday. So Friday will be Family Friday. So that'll be the day that I do things for the family. I mean, I do things for them hopefully throughout the week, but that's when I'll focus on it. Are there any chores that need to get done before the week, and housework. And if any knitting I do will be knitting for the family, such as finishing that dodgeball stadium thingy for Cassie, finishing the Pokemon cloak for Ilana, then the quilt for Dan, which probably not in June, but anyway, hopefully I can carry this plan forward. So Friday, family. Saturday, socks, because as you just heard, I have 3 half-finished socks. And in the acquisition section, I'll tell you about some more socks. And then Sunday, shawls, because I have 3 shawls on the go. I'm actually, in between all that, whenever I need some mindless knitting, will be this shawl. Saturday, Sunday. And I also wanted to put in Spiritual Saturday or Spiritual Sunday or Weekend Worship, we'll call it. Because at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning is our Watchtower study at the Kingdom Hall. So at some point on the weekend, I need to prepare for that. And unfortunately, most days, weeks recently, I've been doing it at like 8 a.m. on Sunday. Hopefully I'll do it on Saturday. Our Watchtower study, our meetings at the Kingdom Hall are interactive most of the time. So it's a question and answer session. We don't have to interact. We don't have to participate, but I find I enjoy it much more when I am prepared. So weekend worship. And yeah, that's my mnemonics, my plans for keeping myself focused. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are work-related items. Monday and Fridays are, Monday's knit for me, Friday's knit for the family. And then Saturday, socks and shawls and whatever else comes our way on the weekends. Yeah. Okay. And throughout all of this, I want to help my youngest daughter, Ilana, with her new venture, which is my news that I wanted to share. Ilana is joining me at BMakingJoy. She will be using my Etsy shop to sell charms, stitch markers, progress keepers, and running stitch counters. She's still working on fine-tuning her designs and building up some inventory. And I will share more details as these products become available for purchase. Ilana is also my graphic designer. She designed my original logo, the bee knitting the scarf with the word joy on it for BMakingJoy. And now she's been working on redesigning that logo because the bee was kind of scary looking. I'm going to show you a picture of what she's come up with. And in the next little while, I will start updating it on various sites. Oops, get back here. It's backwards from my view. But I don't know if you can tell the things that the bee is knitting spell out the word joy. stay tuned. I'll add more of her stuff. She also is a crocheter. So if I can get her permission, I'll start sharing some of her crochet work with you as well. Okay, and then I have acquisitions to share with you. So, as I've been focusing on socks, and the crazy sock lady, known as, okay, what's her name, Kay something, known as the crazy sock lady. Anyway, she started her summer sock camp again this summer, started up on May 24th. So I've submitted the Ilana's knee-high socks, and I will submit these. Anyway, so when Ancient Arts announced their Summer Shorties Sock Club, I signed up immediately. So, there's that. Oops. So, they will be releasing a new sock pattern each month, June, July, and August. But since I signed up for the full set, I received all the yarns all at once. Let me tell you about it first. The patterns were designed by Barb Brown, who was a dear friend of Caroline, the owner of Ancient Arts. And I'm going to just read you what Caroline wrote. Caroline says, "This club is near and dear to my heart. Barb Brown was a founding member of the Ancient Arts team, our design coordinator for many years, a very close friend who always cheered us on, and an amazing designer with a rich and deep understanding of sock knitting, construction, fitting, and more. She designed for many magazines, including Vogue Knitting, Knit Simple, Interweave Knits, Knit Science, The Knitter, Neuro Knitting Magazine, Ancient Arts, Fiber Crafts, and more. And her work also appeared in many books. She is the author of Knitting Knee-Highs, Sock Styles from Classic to Contemporary, which is one of the premier books published on all things socks. And she taught many a sock class over the years. Barb retired a few years ago, but when she decided to put her hand to designing a small sock collection last fall, we were absolutely thrilled and honored she chose us to work with to publish them. Sadly, Barb passed away before she could see her collection published, and it's important to us to honor the presentation of her last collection as she would have wished. So Ancient Arts has made these sock sets available in several different color choices. Let me show you what I chose. The June one, the patterns are coming out month by month. I don't have the patterns yet. But the June one is Summer Crocus Shorties sock set. And I chose the color that the pattern was actually designed in. And I should have wrote down what the colors were. Dusty Rose. And then July's will be a Traveler Sock. And the color I chose is the one that was made in Champagne. And then August, I've already opened the package, is the Chain of Hearts Shorties. And the colors I chose are Cranberry and Golden Retriever. So I think that will be lovely. We'll see how long my sock mojo keeps up. We'll see if I'm able to keep up with this never long. But yeah. But that's all I have to share today. Thank you for watching. Happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy embroidering. Whatever it is that you like to do, go find some joy.